Well, welcome everybody. It's so good to see you. We had our extra Monday in there, and so it's been a while. Hope you all had a good Day of the Dead, wherever you are, in whatever way you honor the ancestry. Let's see. Shall we start, Russell? What do you?
Sure, I can let anyone else who enters in. Hi everyone, it's good to be back after quite a while being away. It's good to see your faces. So let us begin with these opening verses, beginning with the incense offering. In gratitude, we offer this incense to all Buddhas and Bodhisattvas throughout space and time. May it be as fragrant as earth herself, reflecting careful efforts, wholehearted awareness, and the fruit of understanding slowly ripening. May we and all beings be companions of Buddhas and Bodhisattvas. May we awaken from forgetfulness and realize our true home. Perfection of wisdom, Mother of Buddhas, Bodhisattvas, and all beings, nourishing, holding, and healing all, Great Mother Earth, precious jewel of the cosmos, to you we bow in gratitude. We take refuge in the earth as our teacher, the one who shows us the way in this life. We take refuge in the earth as an expression of the Dharma, the teachings of interbeing, understanding, and love. We take refuge in the earth as an embodiment of the Sangha, the vast, interdependent community of life in balance and harmony. Living within the web of life on earth, we dedicate ourselves to embodying awakened awareness on the path of healing and service to all beings. We dedicate our lives to realizing our oneness with Gaia.
Now we will go into a Metta Healing Circle, and let us come together in a circle with the intention of raising loving kindness, first for ourselves and then for others. Taking a few deep breaths. Allow your breath to collect you and bring you fully into the circle. Right here, right now. Fully present with all who are here. Ignite a strong sense of love within your being. Absorbing this prayer, may I be at ease in my body, feeling the ground beneath me. May I be attentive and gentle toward my own discomfort and suffering. May I experience joy and well-being. May I move towards others freely and with openness. May I receive others with compassion and understanding. Now bring into your awareness all who are here today, our broader Sangha, our friends, and our family members. May you be at ease in your body, feeling the ground beneath you. May you be attentive and gentle toward your own discomfort and suffering. May you experience joy and well-being. May you move towards others freely and with openness. May you receive others with compassion and understanding. Now bring forward those who you pass on the streets, the people you struggle with, and especially those you hold a strong aversion for. And speak from your heart into their heart with all sincerity. May you be at ease in your body, feeling the ground beneath your feet. May you be attentive and gentle toward your own discomfort and suffering. May you experience joy and well-being. May you move towards others freely and with openness. May you receive others with compassion and understanding. Now let us bring all species, all beings into our heartfelt prayer. May all beings be at ease in their body, feeling the ground beneath their feet, the air beneath their wings. May all beings experience joy and well-being. May all beings be well, loving, and peaceful. With each breath, with each step, may we embody loving kindness. And now I will jump into the teachings from chapter 16, which is entitled No Longer Afraid. And the verse from the Heart Sutra says, "And because there are no more obstacles in their mind, they can overcome all fear, destroy all wrong perceptions, and realize perfect nirvana." When we let go of our notions of a separate self and other wrong perceptions, we are no longer afraid. Only when there is no more fear is the relief from suffering complete, and true peace and happiness are experienced. Our minds are capable of creating many wrong perceptions and latching onto them. We construct our reality by using the mind to create images, to love, to crave, to be angry with, and to hate. And I wanted to share that in this 3-week study of this chapter, while I was opening myself to experience a state of no fear, it led me to examining worry. I recognized worry is a form of fear which arises and can be disguised as loving kindness. As I watched a worry arise in relationship to my son, whom I'm visiting here in Japan, and my mind latched onto this perception, which I felt could lead to pain and suffering and even the loss of death. So my mind began to magnetically draw all these fear images to reinforce my worry. And I could feel it all arising in my body. And a flow of fearful thoughts flooded my awareness as I imagined the worst possible outcome for the worry my mind had latched onto. And then I felt my mind create an idea of what would be the solution for this perceived problem. An action that Francis, my son, would have to take to prevent such calamity. And right behind this idea of this solution came a drive to impose this imagined solution onto my son's life. And I went, wow. The desire to impose my will arose from an idea of being a caring mother, responding to a situation my own mind had conjured into existence. And when I saw this whole reactive chain and breathed into it, I felt a full body experience of setting life free. And it was really quite an amazing experience to track that. And right now, the US is in the midst of midterm elections, and voting completes tomorrow with the full moon eclipse. And worried minds are latching onto many fears with an intensified drive to force our perceived solutions onto others. And so I think it's a real significant moment for us to practice mindfulness and to be aware of the reaction chain that worry creates and set life free. And I was reading the astrologer Pam Youngin's talk about the full moon, and she said, this full moon total lunar eclipse will test our flexibility and our detachment. We might call it a test of our spiritual maturity, which includes having compassion for the human condition, as well as the ability to maintain objectivity and to not get caught up in the drama. And what I was witnessing with tracking worry was how I actually created drama. It was quite a strong pull to create drama in the situation that I'm in right now. And I loved her words of having compassion for the human condition. It's really a slightly different take than I've had on, concern about the future, is having compassion for our human condition. So Thich Nhat Hanhs points out that traditionally Buddhism speaks of 4 kinds of wrong or upside down perceptions, which cause anxiety and suffering. So when I went through these, I really meditated on them, and I wrote down examples that came to me as I read through them, and invite you to notice what examples come to you. The first one is imagining what is impermanent is in fact permanent. Okay, imagining what is impermanent is in fact permanent. And And the things that came to my mind were like safety from harm, my marriage, that came up, lives of people I love. And then I was thinking about societal structures like stocked grocery stores and infrastructures like running water and sewage systems and smooth highways, things that we take for granted and think are permanent. And then I even considered times of war and times of peace. And then living in where I live in New Mexico, near the labs, I was thinking how physicists like to imagine that there are containers which can permanently hold toxic waste and keep it separate from the environment. And the second one that Thich Nhat Hanhs speaks to is mistaking something that is causing us suffering for something that will bring us happiness. And I was thinking again of the systems of defense and offense, whether individual or politically, believing that defense systems will bring us the type of security which will allow well-being to flourish. And when I've gotten into really contemplating what could possibly reverse the US nuclear arms program and defense system, which just keeps escalating, I began to examine my own defense system, the defense of my separate self, the defense of my goodness, of my innocence, how I justify and defend my judgments of others, and the ways that I restrict my life to protect myself from repeating what wounded me earlier in my life. And it's very interesting to go on these journeys, inner journeys of where we are defensive. And the third one is to think that what is taking away our freedom is actually giving us freedom. And so I continued my looking at how systems of security often are taking away our freedom, but are promising us safety for our possessions and our lives. And it just is, this one's getting really, really big. I think I see security every day in many, many sources. And then I was thinking about how striving for ideals for a utopian society so often turn rigid and restrictive and actually create dystopian realities instead. And we've seen this often with communism, like a lot of the thoughts of communism seem like really high quality thoughts, intentions, but they can turn to dictatorship. And I feel that even with our capitalistic democracy is on the edge. And then, of course, Thich Nhat Hanh pointed out addictions like substance abuse, of thinking that they're providing us with freedom when they're actually taking our freedom from us. And then the fourth one is to think that what is impure is pure. And the first thought I had was how often we claim that our emotional reactivity is clarity, which allows our righteousness to polarize us into separate states with other people, and then claims our purity of innocence. And so I was really looking at the effects of reactivity. And also when religion falls into fundamentalism, then claiming oppressive moral attitudes and their enforcement as pure. And we see this in many situations in the world. And then, of course, claiming nuclear waste is not harmful or is not present within the environment. and pretending that elements which provide life remain pure when they have been compromised. And Thich Nhat Hanhs told the story of Bodhidharma, who had lived a life of wealth and position, and the great happiness which arose in his life when he gave them up and became a monk, and no longer had to worry about his wealth and protect it and all those things. So there's it was an example of simplifying, letting down our fears. And then the last part of the chapter, Thich Nhat Hanhs addresses nirvana, a state of no fear. And he says, nirvana is not a place you can go. Nirvana is not in the future. Nirvana is the nature of reality as it is, available in the here and now. We are already in nirvana. It's an amazing statement, especially for somebody who lived through war. Thich Nhat Hanhs used the metaphor of our being like a wave which lives in fear of not being aware of being connected with water. When the wave realizes it is water and that it exists within water, then the wave enjoys going up and down. It enjoys being the wave that it is and sees that at the same time, it is all the other waves. There's no discrimination and there is no fear. The wave doesn't have to go anywhere to look for water. In the present moment, the wave is already water. Likewise, we don't have to go and look for nirvana, because nirvana is our true nature. When we are able to touch our true nature, then we transcend all fear, all anger, all despair, because suffering is born from notions of separation, like birth and death, being and non-being, coming and going, same and different. And he says nirvana is not the object of our searching, and we do not need to enter it. Everything is nirvana already. Our reality is of no birth and no death. Our reality is of no coming and no going. We are perfectly in nirvana. We have been nirvanized from the non-beginning. I love that ending. We have been nirvanized from the non-beginning. So we will take those teachings into our meditation.